Matrices. We continue looking at this topic. Now, what we're going to do is review rows and columns, then order of elements, looking at the 1 by 1, 2 by 2, and so on. The types of matrices including column, row, square, null, diagonal, and unit matrix. So, let's go. Now, here we have a matrix. Let us use letters to represent the elements in the matrix. So, when you write letters to represent numbers in a matrix, you use lowercase. A is the first element in row 1 and the first element in column 1. B is the first element in row 1. This is row 1, remember that. And the first element in column 1. Now, we have A, B, then C, and D, lowercase letters. This is row 2. C is the first element in row 2. D is the second element in row 2. This is column 2. B is the first element in column 2. D is the second element in column 2. Remember now, the elements are the first, second, fourth, fifth. You see that? So you go in that order. Just like how we read. Left to right, zigzag, down, left to right. Alright. Now, if you want to refer to this element again, you don't have to go through the process of rewriting all the elements and making the brackets. You don't have to do that. What you do is this. Give the matrix a name. This matrix has a name, and you don't use a name such as John. You don't say this matrix name is John, and you do not say this matrix name is Mary. No, you use one letter only. So this matrix has the name A, and A must be uppercase. So when you write matrix A, the matrix A, you know that this is the matrix we're talking about. Matrix B is another matrix. E, F, G, H are the elements in matrix B. So that is a different matrix. You see that? Now, here, we can have a matrix looking like this. A matrix with one element. This is a 1 by 1 matrix. You remember that we say the number of rows by the number of columns. This has 1 row and 1 column. So it's a 1 by 1 matrix. You see that? Right. Now, suppose we have another matrix looking like this. 7, 10, 4, 8. This is a 2 by 2 matrix. Do you remember? So you should remember those from our previous lesson. Now, you have different types of matrices. If you have a matrix looking like this, and it says 5, 3, or it may look like this, 10, 7, 8. These two matrices are called column matrices. This is a column matrix. This is a column matrix. Why? Because it has only one column. This has only one column. When you have one column, you say it is a column matrix. So you see that. So that is a column matrix. Please make a note of that. Then I'm going to make this matrix is 1, 5, 6. What type of matrix do you think that is? Well, if you said it is a row matrix, you would be correct, because this matrix has only one row. It has more than one column, but one row. There are 3 columns here, but one row. So you call this matrix that has only one row a row matrix. Good. Now, let's look at a few other things when we're dealing with the topic of matrices. Now, here. When you have a matrix looking like this, you have 2 rows by 2 columns. These are 2 by 2 matrix. When you have a matrix looking like this, this has 3 rows, 3 rows and 3 columns. This is a 3 by 3 matrix. In fact, when the number of rows equals the number of columns, you say what you have got is a square matrix. You remember that a square is a quadrilateral 4-sided figure, each 90 degrees. This is a rectangle, but when you have the height equal to the width, you call this a square. So a rectangle with the height and width equal, it is called a square. With the matrix, the rows and columns are equal, so it is a square matrix. You see that? Nice. Now, let's look up here. The null matrix. What is that? Suppose you have this matrix, or you have this matrix, or you have this matrix. What kind of matrix is that? This is a null matrix because all the elements are 0. So, here you have the null matrix. This is a matrix that has all the elements 0. Good. Now, let us look at another type of matrix. The diagonal matrix. The diagonal matrix. Matrix is very interesting, and I know you love matrix. You enjoy studying matrices. Now, here. If you have this matrix, here, this is what is called a diagonal matrix. And why? Let us see. Anytime you have a matrix, just A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. If you have this matrix, this diagonal is called the leading diagonal. See that? Then this diagonal is called the non-leading diagonal. So the leading diagonal runs from upper left to lower right. Now, anytime you have a matrix where the elements that run from upper left to lower right are various numbers, but all other elements are 0, you call that a diagonal matrix. So that is a diagonal matrix. Alright. Then the last matrix we will look at in this video is called the unit matrix. It is a diagonal matrix, but what would the elements be? When you have the word unit, what does unit mean? Unit means one. When you unite in terms of opinions, you have one opinion. You all have one opinion. When you unite, you come together is in unity. You come together as one group, as one people. You unite, so it's one. It is a diagonal matrix, but here, let's look at the example. 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1. So, you see, the elements in the leading diagonal are all 1. All other elements are 0. So that is the unit matrix. So, we've looked at the various types of matrices. The column matrix, 1 column. Row matrix, 1 row. Square matrix, equal number of rows and columns. Null matrix, only zeros. Diagonal matrix. The leading diagonals have numbers other than 0, but all other numbers are 0. The unit matrix is a diagonal matrix where all the elements in the leading diagonals are 1. So, I will see you in the next video.